Last time on Dragon Ball Kakumei, Goku would again fail to defeat Beerus as part of his training, though not without showcasing intense strength and resolve. After, the Grand Priest would call all angels to brief them on a developing situation. Android 17's wish not only resurrected the universes erased during the Tournament of Power, but also 7 which had been disposed of previously. Most mysterious, Universe 0. Returning to face the Grand Priest is a mysterious stranger who claims her opposite is nothing more than a fraud. Moments before, and against his better judgment, Whis allows Goku to explore Universe 0 to see what he can discover. Back in the present time, at the Grand Priest Palace, the mysterious intruder reiterates she never abandoned the angels, and she wants to elaborate on this imposter's past who they call their father. Simply put, he provoked mass genocide and believed himself to be on equal footing with that of the Omni Kings. The Grand Priest finally tells her that's enough. He rises from his throne. His children kneel and request he explain himself, and to reveal the identity of this angel-looking woman. As many of you likely guessed, she is an angel, and their mother. Moreover, what she says isn't a complete lie. This 19th universe he previously mentioned was particularly powerful. It released a monstrous strength and threatened the balance established by the Omni King. Something had to be done quickly, so he acted without the king's knowledge. These words caused the woman to let out a maniacal laugh. Quickly isn't the right word. Expanding space-time may be a brief action for himself, but those slain by his actions did not suffer a swift execution. They felt everything as time itself tore apart the bodies of innocent people by the billions. It may have only lasted a second for him, but for all those affected, it was several tens of billions of years. All the Grand Priest has to say about this, since he doesn't possess the power of Lord Zeno, he had no other alternative. And these actions all but confirmed. The mother rhetorically questions her children if they hear that. From his own mouth, their father found it wiser to cover up his barbaric act rather than to be honest with the king. Strangely, she doubles back. She quells they not blame the priest. None of this is his fault nor that of the king. But what could she possibly mean? At the same time in Universe 12, Jin stares at the sky wondering what's going on. Belmont does the same in his realm. However, he recognizes several familiar energies. As the Mother Angel continues, she places the blame on not any individual, but the system itself which was set up forcing the Grand Priest to act. When 12 figures suddenly emerge out of nowhere, one pointing out the irony of the situation. It's actually kind of funny. While another, appearing much more brutish in stature, thanks Kansei for taking the pressure off all of them. Kansei likely the name of the Mother Angel. Peering around the crowd, we can make the assumption these people are destroyers and they're angels. One angel on the back mentions how strange it feels to return to this place, while another simply states how familiar all these faces are. Whis tells how these are the gods and angels of the destroyed universes, remembering back to a time their existence was meant to be. This causes one to cackle out that Whis is still as sharp as attack, and only hopes he didn't miss them too much, before another voice rings out for them to behave themselves and bow down. Their faces finally come into view. First, we have Galleon and the destroyer Balkan from Universe 13. These names are a play on Balkan vodka, and Giuliano, a sweet herb-based Italian liquor. From 14, the angel Ares and god of destruction Dromel. Named for a white wine and hydromel, a beverage derived from fermented honey similar to mead. In 15, we have the blindfolded duo of Malata and Vilspring, the latter being the one responsible for that cackling just a few moments ago. He screams he feels like he slept for hundreds of times longer than that cat Beerus. As for the wordplay, Malata is a Georgian wine, and Vilspring was inspired by Devil's Spring vodka, a very high-proof spirit. Ironically, it's so strong that if not properly manufactured can cause you to lose your vision. Universe 16, surrogate home of the angel Remtal and destroyer Menyak. Snickering a sinister chuckle, Menyak takes pleasure in seeing everyone in good health and not injured. They've arrived just in time. The party hasn't even started yet. Remtal is an anagram of Torah Merlot, and Maniac is the same for Armagnac brandy. And for the 17th universe, we have the god named Nisos, named for Dionysus, the Greek god of liquor. He was actually a dead ringer for a Kaioshin rather than a destroyer, the hair and the Patara earring being the giveaways, but still appears to bear a destroyer's clothing. Whatever the case, he warns Alaros to stay calm. Panning down to the angel, he shows nothing short of pure rage on his face as he hisses Whis' name. What history could the two possibly share? Did the angel of Universe 7 also take part in his destruction? Just then, Vados instructs her brother to look a particular direction, though he assures he has already seen what she refers to. None other than Frieza. But how could this possibly be? The tyrant bids a good evening to all. He's been looking forward to meeting them, though he especially wanted to thank Whis in person. We're then introduced to an angel named Twist, which isn't only an appropriate name for the situation, but also yet another alcohol pun for a variety of drinks. With this panel, it reveals her and Frieza to be the angel and destroyer of Universe 18. Surely this couldn't be another version of Frieza native to the 18th universe, so how did he make his way all the way there? Twist beckons Whis, or possibly all angels, if they see where this excessive neutrality leads to. Our angel is primarily fixated on the Golden Warrior. He thinks he understands what he's planning to do. Back at the Tournament of Power, he knew bringing him back to life he wouldn't have just sat twiddling his thumbs for long, but to go this far. The villain spats to not underestimate his intentions. This is merely a foretaste, an appetizer of his true plans. Upon persuading that know-it-all Zuno to explain everything he needed to know, the commanders of the Frieza Force informed him to the appearance of the new universes. He has to admit it was rather surprising Zeno decided to do away with the 18th universe at all. Its god of destruction was miserable, not even remotely fit to hold his position. According to Twist, he had disagreed with his universe's behavior, obviously not having the makings of a revolutionary. Flashing back, Frieza tries to assassinate the destroyer from behind. At first, he would miss his initial attempt. Whether purposely or to only fulfill his own sadistic personality, he wouldn't miss again. Using his other hand, he fires several holes into the god, all the while joking it appears he's more accurate with his left arm. He moved in to add insult to injury, mocking that he vomit a little more. His robes are too tight for him anyway. And finally cracking his neck, the Space Emperor dons the destroyer's clothing for himself. He scoffs that his impotence was disconcerting, and he wonders how he managed to become a god of destruction in the first place. But he doesn't think any of this concerns Whis himself. Having listened to the entire story, Whis admits he doesn't understand the point of going this far with it. But he's right, none of this is his concern. Continuing his vile ways, Frieza questions the angel if he regrets his resurrection. He pauses, then utters his opposite is ill-informed and has no idea of where he steps. Regardless, he would like to credit Whis. All of this is thanks to his generosity to take the risk of bringing him back so willingly. But for the moment, if he wouldn't mind, would he divulge the whereabouts of Goku? Grand Priest asks, Son Goku? What does he have to do with all of this? Prompting Whis to explain how he spotted Universe Zero just before he was summoned here. He agreed to let the Saiyan scout it out for himself, but has since lost contact with him and he hasn't used the button he gave him. For the moment, they are unable to reach him or distinguish his presence in the condensed auras that form in that realm. Maniac inquires if he's talking about the mortal who came through screaming like a donkey right into their headquarters. He needn't worry about him. They welcomed him justly. The Grand Priest now wonders why they would be keeping Goku imprisoned. The power of the deities is still far beyond that of any Saiyan. Goku's not a threat to them. Could it be that the mortal possesses vital information useful to the resurrected gods? Kansei taunts Kaishi not to look so ignorant. He knows exactly what they're planning with him. Kaishi presumably the Grand Priest's actual name. Simultaneously, with Goku, our hero kneels in chains, prisoner of the gods. He screams for the cowards to get back here, wanting to know what they want from him. With a final glimpse of him from the apocalyptic world, all he can do is apologize to Whis. He grossly underestimated the challenge in front of him. After being told by Kansei he should know exactly what they plan to use the imprisoned Goku for, Kaishi, the Grand Priest, finally relents to inquire about their demands. Without skipping a beat, Maniac hisses they want the abolition of the divine hierarchy and the removal of that neutrality he's always been so obsessed with. The Destroyer emphasizes this point by throwing an errant strike in the Grand Priest's direction, causing Kusu to cry out for her father in terror, though he urges her to stay calm. That's when the various destroyers begin circling the Divine Leader. Voices scowl, it's this mentality that blocks him, fogs the truth. And it's the Divine Hierarchy that, during the so-called Tournament of Power, erased the gods, but not the angels? Billspring snarls, knowing this. How can he call himself a guide? When Dremel speaks up, the Towering Brute commands no more games. It's time to make things happen. But the Grand Minister wants to call his bluff. He taunts. Oh, and what will you do? What can you do? Kansei rests her leg on the toppled lectern. She declares a war between deities on a multiversal scale is about to begin. The revolution starts now. Every individual, mortal or not, will have to choose a side. Only one will remain. They wish to fight for a new world with a perfect balance. Without warning, the Grand Priest unleashes an attack against the revived gods and angels. Though not without taking great damage himself. He falls to his knees, bleeding from the mouth. Kusu approaches to tend to the situation, but he tells her not to worry. As we gaze out to see what this technique accomplished, all of the opposing gods and destroyers stand frozen in place. His daughter questions what he's done to him, and it's just that. He has frozen them in time and space. But it's not over. They have to teleport them to the Zero Universe and freeze it in turn. She argues, won't that be dangerous for his health? However, he scoffs at her not to be ridiculous. Whis implores Kukatail to assist him. They have to gather all the Supreme Kais with Kibito. There will be 13 in total, which should be enough. But what does this mean? Acting swiftly, the Kaioshin's we know immediately arrive on the scene. Kukatail formally greets him. As Whis has already summarized the dire situation to him, he wants to know if they'll be able to help. Kibito admits this won't be an easy task, but with 13 of them, they will find a way to succeed. With time of the essence, our angel snips they stop the formalities and prompts everyone to stand, as Kaishi motions for everyone to continue with their plan. Meanwhile, back on Earth, the gang continues with their get-together, completely unaware of the dramatics going on with the gods and angels. As Videl and Chi-Chi carry plates of food to the others, 18 darts up to insist they let her help with that. At the table, we see Krillin, Goten, Trunks, Pan, Mr. Satan, and Boo. The latter, most likely, the most excited to eat. Oh, something doesn't sit right with Chi-Chi. Gazing up to the sky, we all know what she must be thinking. Her daughter-in-law takes notice. Without saying a word, she quietly begins to head inside. Goten asks Videl if his mother's doing alright, but she's not quite sure. On another note, if we look at the Capsule Corp building, it appears a bit damaged. Was it from the fight between Goku and Beerus, or something else? Concerned, Videl trails after her to question if she's okay. While trying to keep a stiff upper lip, Chi-Chi insists everything is fine through the unstoppable tears. Videl reaches out for her. She insists Goku is just late. She knows how he is, trying to laugh off the situation. This is just how he's always been with social gatherings, at least from what she's seen and heard. Chi-Chi does her best to manage a smile, returning the chuckle and admitting she must be right. At the same time, Gohan stands in the mirror straightening his tie. Then rethinking his attire, he appears to lose the vest in favor of something a little less butlery. Outside, he gazes at the beautiful sky, taking in the lovely scenery. As he pulls up a chair to join the others, we see he's ditched the tie as well, though he's a bit confused why his dad hasn't arrived yet. While ruffling Goten's hair, Videl doesn't have much to say on the matter. While in the background, Trunks drives his mother crazy playing with a dog, possibly Bee, instead of getting ready to come to the table for dinner. She continues her shouting as Gohan takes note of his mother's expression. She's still clearly focused on the whereabouts of her husband. But knowing nothing can be done, he figures they should just eat. When something catches their attention, looking upward, he asks, "What's that?" Meanwhile, in Universe 11, Planet Zarus, Jiren goes to wrangle up a monstrous dinosaur-looking creature. He grabs a net, or reins, caught around its teeth to pull its head up, before sending it flying. Though there are a few questions regarding this scenario. Was he trying to save the creature, or kill or subdue it? As a punch like that from Jiren is likely to be a death blow for most natural life. Either way, something above also appears to capture his attention. Universe 6, Planet Geno. One of our favorite assassins makes his way through a crowd. Some of their faces we may recognize. It's made evident rather quickly he's on the clock. Acting before anyone even knows what he's done, he calmly walks away as a group of people begin to gather around. And just like the others, something takes his attention too. But if we look at the people around him, they all look up. Does this mean it's not merely a powerful key everyone is noticing? And in the same universe over on Sadala, Caulifla continues her rigorous training as Kale stands behind her. Kappa approaches as she nears 20,000 thumb push-ups. He greets the pair. The latter stays focused on the task at hand while Kale offers a meek reply. Finishing, Caulifla finally says hello as well, though referring to him as Crawler, likely a petty insult somewhat lost in translation, as this manga is originally in French. She asks what he's doing here. And the truth is, he was just passing through. But before he can even finish, he beckons what's that above him. Apparently not sensing anything, she cockily questions what he's talking about. So he straight up points it out, telling her to look. What's that ball? Curious, but not threatened, Caulifla responds pretty much with a, "Huh, well how do you like that?" and has no idea what that thing is. She casually turns her head to tell Kale to check it out. There's a ball in the sky, leaving her a bit confused, though her partner assures it doesn't even matter. As it begins to speak, prompting everyone to listen to it. The entity announces itself as the Grand Priest of the Multiverse, and has come to bring them the direct orders of the one they call God. Though Kappa wonders why the Grand Priest would want to talk to all of them through a giant ball. This whole thing is very strange. At any rate, he continues to address all life forms in the present world. An evil angel rebelled against him, though he was able to freeze her in time and space. It will only last for a period of 2 years. A war between all universes will begin once this delay is over. Every single individual will have to be ready to choose a side. Asking the obvious, Gohan questions Piccolo what that even means. The final shoe dropping, Caulifla's arrogance drains from her eyes while absorbing this information. Top contacts Jiren to make sure he's seeing this too. Greatest hero of Universe 11 only stoically confirms he is. Having just returned from the Tournament of Power, Krillin looks as though he just can't catch a break as he and his wife stare into the sky horrified. And finally returning, Vegeta. Removing the last of his weights, he makes sure everyone here heard that as well. His son relenting they did. Goten is confused. Wasn't his dad with him? But no, Vegeta figured he'd already be on Earth by now, only furthering Chi-Chi's concern for her husband. With the angels and gods of the resurrected universes making their intentions clear, the Grand Priest's actions of freezing the rebels, Universe Zero, and all inside Universe Zero, have bought our heroes 2 years' time to not only prepare for a universal war, but to decide what side they will be fighting on. The natural choice seeming to be the side of the Grand Priest. But would the abolition of the divine hierarchy lead to greater equality or absolute chaos?